Wassail Liffruma. So, here is a book, a magical book, unbound and ready to play. Can you guess what is in it today? I've got Liffruma! Well, I haven't actually got my new version of the deck. I've got the original deck. There was a prototype for us to check. Wassail Forum, well, Wassail April. Wassail Skywalk Trees, Wassail Kathy, Wassail Greenleaf, Wassail Shiloh Country. You've been sitting there waiting for me. Look! It's Liffruma. So yes, I'm sorry I haven't said everyone's names. I'm going to get overwhelmed because there's been a very overwhelming energy. I haven't posted because when this deck arrived in Peru, I was struggling to work with any other deck, but also this deck is so extremely overwhelming. Even for me, and I sat at every stage working with all of you and the team and transforming and changing, and yet there's something when they come off the screen and they materialize into your hand and they have combinations. So they're like pages from a book, and you shuffle the book and you lay down all the pages from the book, and then the magic of the Liffruma Healing Oracle Deck, the rune symbols, are like a kind of mystical algorithm that just goes inside you and it translates stories through you, all of you, not just me or the people that already have the deck. Now, I know you all want copies of the deck. We are, as in Kathy, we are building a website so that you can pre-order them. There's 50 copies at the moment. This is the original, and this is not part of the 50. And I was holding off. I was making up silly rules, which was I needed the proper deck that's covered in its skin that coats it to hold the print fast, because this deck has no skin. It's really raw, and it means that every time I shuffle them, the print is being worn against each other. And I kind of was like, I can't show that deck because it'll look like the deck doesn't hold together. And the lagoon out here that I've been in for the last week, going off my head in many ways with all the magic that's available there, has had me very confused. And then it just went, I'm not sending you your new deck, we're going to make it be stuck. Just get on with it. Use this original deck with all its errors. Yeah, it is. It's like the shell that spat the pearls. Ollie. So at the moment there are only 50, and it's because we needed to see how the deck behaves with people and whether there were any last minute tweaks that the deck requires. So there will be a pre-booking page for you all, and you can pre-order your deck. There's things coming into my head all the time, and there are some things that just have to be surprises, because if I say them, then we might change our minds on things. There are so many things that I want to express with you, but it's almost like it's time to let the deck speak. It's time to just, yes, please press the thumbs up button. Help the wave of enthusiasm to grow. So It is a beautiful deck. Everybody, before I start anything, I just want to say it's been a year and a half since we all embarked on this journey. And I've been all over the place, traveling, experiencing new things. And in every place, the seed, the germination of this deck has been wired into all my experiences that I had, but also all my experiences that are shared with all of you and with the team in all the places. It really does feel like a collective energy, and there's something very profoundly I'm so hot. There's something profoundly powerful about materializing a dream. And when it comes, it's like a bomb goes off and all of the shadow work that you've done just billows up into the air and creates all those doubts and anxieties to be able to return into you. And it's been transforming me mentally, physically, spiritually, joyfully, tragically. There's all of these energies in this deck. This deck isn't about denying shadows. This is about learning to celebrate the gold that's inside all of the shadows. So I am thankful to all of you out there, all of you who've had parts in this. And when you do get your hands on a deck, you will see bits of you in, whether it be in the poetry, because I've listened to you, or whether it be in the artwork, or whether it be in the runes themselves. We're all written into this magic book. And it is a magic book. Yeah, there is. Ever since I've arrived here, I have had the most phlegmy chest, like I'm a small child entering a new biome. It's been, I can even hear it in my sleep. But there's something about, it's almost like I'm going through a massive detox. And I think that includes my lungs at the moment. So I'm just putting everything down to the dimensional hopping that we're all on together as we move through giant horny portals to bring this to everyone that needs to hear it. So I would show you me rifling them, but you've already probably seen Rob doing it. I'm so warm. Now, I want to say, when you get this deck, I know it's not now, and I don't know exactly when it is, but that's part of this Liffruma magic. It tests your patience. It's like the very worst temperance energy you've ever experienced. You're like, I've dealt with that, I've done it, and it's like, no, but you haven't. Look, you're still trying to push things faster than we're ready to do it. So, well done, Kathy. I am rifling through and I'm asking nothing. Interestingly, I'm asking nothing of the cards, because I got to stop trying to lay down rules, because all of the rules I create, all of those thought patterns are blocking my future now. I'm trying to bring me, the deck, us, the collective world that I see around me into this energy of Liffruma. I just want this deck to reach out and heal everything. I don't know how it does it, but that doesn't matter. The faith that I have, the trust I have in this magical algorithm contained within this deck is it will transform everything. It will bring kindness, fairness, healing, joy to everyone. That's the intention of it. So, let's... Oh! That's what I've gone through. Thorny portal of heartache. To come out the other end, able to giggle about it. Here we go. Let's see what Liffruma wants to share with you. One, just as I separated the deck, a single card lifted from between and laid itself down. Theo, the very first rune in the Elder Thuthark. So that's prompting me to say to all of you that when you get this deck, you will notice that cards 1 to 24 are the Elder Thuthark. And the Elder Thuthark has its origins in ancient Germanic beliefs. And it gets translated through Norse mythology, Icelandic. However, via Frisia and Anglo-Saxon Britain, they invented runes 25 to 34, which are then the next cards in their correct order. And they were because in those countries there were different vocal vowel sounds that just needed expressing in this burgeoning new script. And at the time there were many scripts rising and falling and merging, and that's all to do with this binding together. And there's something about this being like a lost language, but it doesn't matter if you can't read runes or you can't say the words. Theo, it's down here. Well, there is a form of translation to help you with all of this. So I'm always fascinated by this card because Futhark, F-U-T-H-A-R-K, is the spelling of the letters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the runes. So the runic alphabet, its first letter is F, and it's defining yourself by your possessions. And I find that a really static but fascinating concept. How many cows do you own? You know, what's your cattle wealth? Because that's what defines you. And I found that the energy of now wants to ask often, what should define you? You know, what does wealth conquer? In truth, does wealth give you happiness? And I would just say bird in a gilded cage in response to that. This notion that you can have all the finest things around you, or caged by your wealth and your way. That's just something I did. I gave a journey, and within that journey of letting go, oh yeah, that's right, the website is currently my website, just because you're all going to ask questions, and that's got a description of how to say things, although there's no truth in how to say them. It's also got on there 2 free PDFs that you can download. One has the cards with the poetry on, and one has the cards without the word bursts. And the poetry is there because in Icelandic, Norse and Anglo-Saxon, there were poems written about each rune because they were birthing symbols and trying to say what that stood for so that you could use it to communicate. Remember also, runes are always being dug up on caskets and burial items. So there's something about the past returning. So we've had Theo to begin with. Let's see what we get next. Because how they sit together, oh, I'm going to do that on every card. Just so that you know. So, Earthgrap.
'Earth. 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 'Earth.
earth grip. So this is the grip of the earth. It's something to do with this message. There's two very distinct formats here. There's something to do with how the grip of wealth, the grip of material possessions was all part of the grip of the earth for the last 200 years. And there was something very static. 2 and 9 is 11, plus 1 is giving us 12 frequency. That structure on which everything that has form sits, and it waits for the 13's magical influence that feeds life to structures. So I'm not reading poetry at the moment. I will when it's the right moment, because I'm not reading this card in its entirety. I'm reading it energetically with this complete switch round, a complete transformation, a kind of, there's an almost like touch paper, and this here is so dry, and yet somehow they're showing me this rune going deep into the dryness to investigate, to sniff out something. So let's see what else we get. So now we've got two coming together. Ooh! Right, so look, this earth grip, when you go down and you slip into that crack that has opened, that's calling to you to go and seek the nutrients in the shadows. This is where you plant your seed. You have to go. When a seed grows, when your Yggdrasil first grows, what's the first thing a seed does when it receives the moisture, when it receives the water energy? It sends something down into the darkness to look for nutrients. And this Nide card, this is shadows, but it's also the nutrients. So I'm going to read you this little poem. So this is Nide. Not sure whether you can see that very clearly, but I'm sure you can really. Oh, look! My birthday. The 1st of the 10th. Just, it's fascinating how the cards are so playful and personal. So, this is Nide, the poem. The war rune, the fear tune, the battle hymn, the grim song sung too long. The war of one to be won alone in our shadows. We hold the blooded ravens fast, whisper a fresh melody in the silence, murder our crows and grow stronger. Thugun's golden key of life. Now Thugun is one of the Valkyries, but she's known as the Silent Valkyrie. And she came to me in a reading on the solstice when I was in Portugal, when I just began these. Wow, that's fabulous. So she came through and she said, if you want to open a door to a better future, you make that golden key from the treasures in your shadows. You cannot avoid your shadows. So sitting there with oracle decks full of rainbow farts is not going to open your door, because you're ignoring your shadows. The world we live in, it's a world where every day that the sun comes out, it casts shadows. It's a world full of distortions that we're trying to navigate through. You will not navigate without your golden compass key, whatever you want to call it, that is made from the nutrients inside traumas and shadows that you have experienced. I'm sorry that we have to all do that, but that's the way it is. I can laugh because I've been doing it. So, the Silent Valkyrie. And then we have Reckoned. Oh, thank you, Kirsty. I'm sure you've all been saying lovely things. So, Wakand, which is a watcher or an animal totem. And I am going to read this one as well because I just think you need a feel for how the poems can help you. Other times just ignore them. You know, they're there, the words might jump out, but there's also things hidden within the artwork that will bring out things that appear once and then you never see them again. There's real magic coded into these cards because we've all collectively worked together to sift pieces of everything into them. So this is and there's there watcher or animal totem. So spirit familiar frequency that waits, watching you to sight its presence. So that's the world around you staring at you, watching you, waiting for you to engage with the natural world. They're not going to come to you. You have to action things in your own existence. And that's really what this deck's truth is. How can you use this magic book to unlock your path to your successful future now? Your truth, not mine, yours. I'm giving you your ideas. You play with them. You decide what works for you. You read them your way because they're programmed to be read by you, not just me. Anyone can read them, and it doesn't matter how you read them. I'm never going to look at what you say about the cards and think that's wrong, because nothing is wrong. Everything is our own way to move into these energies. Bit of a disconnection there, so you may have lost me briefly. So I'll start the poem one more time. I came here because it's got a really good internet connection, and it has a funnel internet connection. Apart from this morning, it went a bit funny. So, here we go. Spirit familiar frequency that waits, watching for you to sight its presence. It does not walk with you, but gazes through the glare of beasts and bugs that eyeball you. When you eventually connect, it will walk with you, reach out to teach you, and then flee like the sun's dusk. This is your connection to the creatures around you and is the breath that connects to all the mystical fauna you've previously been. Cherish the lessons those unremembered lives have taught you. We are all creation's creatures. And we can't really, that's the point of this. You don't materialize, you don't grow solely and selfishly. You have to grow solely but collectively. We've entered an age now where you can't just take care of your own life. You take care of your own life to shine that same joy onto everyone. So we're beginning to get a build-up of frequencies. Look at how there's almost a journey into the shadows and out again. This colour. Go into the earth. Go on a journey with a tree. Go into the shadows where all the nutrients are harvested and find a connection to the natural world in there. So, I just want to say also, I was like, let's do shorter videos. And I'm like, just do whatever they come at us. Stop making rules. Break all the rules. So, that's our first little part of this message. Let's see what comes next. I'm so overexcited, but also I want to say that there is something that happens when I said earlier, when you get a materialization of a dream, it shakes the snow globe of the world so much that all these shadows that you think you've dealt with just come and they're like a dust ball around you. And you have to find an ability to calm it all back down. Even sweeping up sends all this dust around. So what do we have next? Absolutely beautiful. 73 Rasa. Doesn't matter how you say it. Say it how it fits your mouth and suits your magic. So this is to explore or to alchemize. So this is, I want to just read you the end part. Oh no, I can't in a weird way. Where do I want to go from? So, alive and eager, desiring to dive and drink in the new. That's what it is to be alive. To be alive is to not want habits, is to want new exploration, is to want to experience new things. So, alive and eager, desiring to dive and drink in the new. All the old gold has dulled. Say that again. All the old gold has dulled. It's just tarnished. Everything in your life needs to be understood as tarnished if your memories tarnish, memories change. We rewrite past histories, and history itself is a tarnished, fixed story that currently feels as though time is stepping in at this moment in our own global history to unanchor the lies that have been gripping into the earth. I want to say of shadows. So what do? We're always saying through a history that has been long told that if I put you in a darkened room, your immediately reaction is you need to turn the light on because there's something in the dark that is going to come and get you, something evil, something wicked. And that's a story we've all had stitched into us that is tarnished. So I want you to think of, instead of light and dark, I want you to think of the Liffruma as being this energy, and I want you to think of the darkness as being to explore. Anchored in the light, but exploring what's out there. And it's full of all the nutrients to make a better future. Yet that fear of not seeing, that fear that something will touch. Actually, I was just listening to a passage to India, and they go to the Malabar caves, and old Mrs. Moore goes in the cave, and there's a really disconcerting echo. And while she's in there, a whole group of people come in, and someone touches her, and she feels really affronted and frightened because someone dared to touch her in this cave in India. And when she eventually comes out and the group come out, she realizes that what reached out and touched her face was a baby's hand. It was such an innocent gesture, but the darkness amplified her inner fears. Renee's clips, the birds here are incredible. So, alchemizing. Let's finish this poem off. So, we've just done all the old gold has dulled. Inventiveness slips in like a sea fret, curling its damp, vapory tendrils towards the land where you stand. the cooling frequency of open waters. Ran's mystical nautical daughters craft the waves, the crashing adventures, seeking to sail you forwards to explore life, to alchemize potential and soar to your sacred shore. There's one that's got a very low. I think it might be a person. So, can we just point out, we have had now this card, 10, followed by 6 and 4, which is a 10, followed by Raza, 73, 10, 10, 10. We've also had 1. We're talking about stripping everything back to a form of binary code. 1s and 0s, where do you put it? Do you put that stuff in your Liffruma energy, or do you put it in your exploration? Things to explore, things to help you grow, not things that make you frightened. There we go, a little bit of mechanical noise now. That drill don't frighten me. That drill don't frighten me. So let's get some more. Oh, look. Right underneath earth. Right beneath earth grab is Alchemizing. Look at those two together. Inside that seam of the earth, when you go exploring, is this. A garden of nightly delights, almost. I don't know where that came from. Alchemizing, thy. To meet with your higher power. What is your higher power? You when you grow up. You when you transform. You when you disconnect from your trauma and live in your now, creating a better future. That's your higher self. Here, manifested in the real world. You as your higher self. Not peeping through some, creepy, distorted hole in a wall or the earth. But you here, in more power, in greater capacity. And this is about planting the seed of a new beginning in your soul, in the now, in the present gateway. I am absolutely dripping with sweat. I even feel like I'm sitting in a pool of sweat. I am my own cosmic lagoon. It's within me and falls through me. Also, after this reading, I'm going swimming. I'm going in the cosmic lagoon. Every time I go in the sea at the moment, because of this materialization and me being in a very magical frequency, it's like when I step in, the sun tells me that it's now sister sun. And it tells me that it's brother moon. And then when I come back out into the earth, it switches around. It's just at the moment, that's a way of me understanding when I'm stepping inside the veil. I'm floating in the sea. And I haven't been in the sea for so long. But another card just came out and it turned with such grace. King, Ken. This is torch, divine spark. And I want to say that is this. You plant your seed. It doesn't mean at the moment when you plant your seed, everything switches on. Because your space of your divine spark is like some dark cupboard full of spiders. It's just something that needs cleaning out. Inside the nutrients the divine spark waiting to open out. Look, it's a mirror. This energy of the runes. You just got to cut the cords to your fears. Explore your fears and you will grow. Actually, that's interesting because I've been exploring my fear of heights. And there's a thing that flies over here like a big kite with a little engine thing underneath, and you can go down the beach and you can pay and they take you on a little flying trip. And I looked at it when it first went over and I went, I'm going to do that. I want to do that. And I was like, no, you don't. Why do you want to do that? But I'm going to do it. Because I've got to explore those things to change those things. So, I just want to say the first lines of this poem, which is Ken, the torch, enrobed in darkness, suspended in time's stationary, stopped shield, stayed. So here, wobbly hands. So yes, as you can see, my deck is wearing down because it doesn't have the coating on it that the proper decks do, because it was a sample. So please do not judge this book by this cover. Oh! What a beautiful message. What is the purpose of this deck? To journey home to your soul. That is such a beautiful pair of cards. Hemfereld, the journey home, the home travel, the Bifrost Bridge. All of the things that are part of your life being filtered through you and out of you and into your soul. This is sacral frequency. This is the 13th rune. And obviously, anyone that likes a bit of maths, numerology is my favourite. 14, 13, stripping back and becoming something way more important. Look at that. I just love that projection of the new you into your soul. It's so gorgeous. Snap, Kathy. I'm not doing poems for you here. I just want to say that your journey home to your soul is through many dimensions, many dimensions. You are the door to all of your dimensions. There's something about when you sleep. Look, it's this. They're showing it here in the Divine Spark. You go to sleep, and when you wake up, you're in a new dimension, but it looks just like it used to look. This new space is just like it used to look, but there's a tiny change. There's small transformations. At the moment, with this deck materializing, I feel like I'm on a really, like, it's almost like the, oh my God. It's almost like I can't keep up, and the cosmos, the Lagoon can't keep up with. It's like this morning they put in my head, I can't keep up with the dimensional travel, they can't keep up with it. I've pushed the boundaries a bit far. There's a famous British film, I can't remember what it's called, it might be The Italian Job. Anyway, thank you, Joyce. There's a line in it from the actor Michael Caine where they blow up a van and it all explodes, and he turns to the guy and he says, you were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. And that's what you're supposed to do, is blow open the doors and move through them. I just feel like I've blown up all the dimensional walls as well. Working with everyone to bring this deck into its materialization. We've done more than blow the bloody doors off. We've opened, pulled all the walls down. We've done a tower moment. Now, I'm just going to show you these three cards that I went, oh my God, over, because they just are so beautiful together. So this is a mystical healing of life force to bring your life force into the present. So I want to show you this first of all. You can see the sun here. It's been moved from the past. The life force that we are born with, the life force that flows through us, the life force that exists is anchored when we were born, and is anchored by our mothers. Our mothers absorb the pain to create our lives, to create life. It's something a mother does as she births. And we have to. I had a message from my mother on the anniversary of her death, which was, I absorbed the pain to make you, and now you have to absorb the pain to rebirth yourself, to remake you. And I'm getting this message that all of our past energies, all of the things we've gone through in our life, we are being lit as remembrances by the life force anchored in by our mothers at our birth. It's where everyone's life force starts out. And we're being asked to unanchor everything. Everything in the past, everything that is Urdhva, the Norn of the past. She's almost here like a kind of tempting, cheeky Swelgeness. She is the card Swelgeness, the whirlpool that keeps your sigil stuck where your mother left it. It's time for you to unanchor everything and take your life force and bring it into your present so that it can shine more brightly on all that is yet to come, your future now. And it's interesting that in this deck, in this couple of cards, the sun is being moved to the present. It's being pushed into this energy. It's illuminating your life so that we can build a better future now. Not tomorrow. It will appear tomorrow, but it'll be in the now. Because time's that weird thing. So we've got this wonderful, purifying, mystical healing. I just want to read the beginning of this because this is a very positive card. But in a lot of the word burst poetry, we have tried to build into them diversity of both sides. So a dark card will contain hope. A beautiful card will have remembrances of darkness. So when the taste of everything has soured, even love is pestilential and all is winter bleak, it is time to speak with air. And she's the healer Valkyrie. I also want to read a little bit on this one. Verdandi. Say how you like though. Re-sow the tales of woe entangled around you, stopping you stepping into the unembroidered now. There is an embroidered now that's based on your life force being back where your mother left it. Unhook it, bring it forward, create a new embroidery, an unembroidered now. Make your own pathway, bring yourself into the now. Don't define yourself by your past. Urdhva, the past, is dead. So, couple more cards. Oh, Penelope. I say hello because Kathy was talking about you. Can you either contact me or Kathy, Penelope? And actually, anyone who's a moderator on here, can you contact me or Penelope? I guess I should just say we want to give you a copy of the deck. I can't keep hiding things. I just need to admit it. I'm sorry if you're not a moderator, but we would like to gift all the people that have been my little Rottweilers protecting me from naughty sex bots. I don't need protecting from them. We just want to say thank you, and we want to give it that collective energy. So that's my email address for moderators. So let's see, what's the next little message from the Liffruma Healing Oracle? Oi! Look! Sacred Seer! It's your card! It's here! Sacred Seer. Yeah, Kizzy, I think I didn't mention it earlier because I thought you were already in contact with Kathy. But Holly's got hers coming and someone else. Anyway, let's go back to Sacred Seer's card. So this is Witchcraft. Witchcraft. This is also sorcery. And this is Elder. And Elder is both the wise and the mature, but also the Elder Tree. And that was provided by Sheila in a reading that she did when she was rune raking. I was waiting, I knew the Elder would come up. It's a really important tree. It's a very magical protective tree. And I knew it would come up, and it did. And so I'm going to read you this one because Sacred Seer is here. Drilling, stop. Thank you. So, sorceress who sees all. Oh, that was too good to be true. Stopped on an instant moment, but it's quieter. You're being protected from it. Sorceress. Oh, before I say this, so the vulva in Norse mythology were always women. It could be done. It was, Sidir magic, Galdir magic were seen as feminine arts in many ways, but it could be done by men. But often, if a male was caught doing them, people would abuse them or execute them. So here we go. This is like having female shaman, which a lot of cultures don't often. But it shows you that all around the world, different energies arrive. So here we go. Sorceress who sees all, spying, scrying, sliding between here and all spheres. Primordial magic. I'm gonna start that again because I misread that slightly. So, sorceress who sees all. Spying, scrying, sliding between here and all spheres, primordial magic maker, crafter, healer, rune binder, community elder, who sits and sings spirit songs to glide and peek inside that other space where fates and destinies are rooted and true. The elder staff bearer, the power sharer, between here and there and everywhere. The Sidir, the sheer wisdom of the shamaness. And it's interesting, I'm not very particularly comfortable with gendered words, although I do like any female word that ends in TRIX, like aviatrix or animatrix. But there was something where this card needed the Sidir, the sheer wisdom of the shamaness. You needed to celebrate that energy. Yes, the seeress. And yet, to me, a seer is female because the Sibyl, yeah, dominatrix, exactly. Resurrectrix, she who brings all back to life. So I'm putting all the cards back apparently. I didn't know I was going to do that. It's interesting that Matrix is Ma, mother, and Trix. So, I have to say, Penelope, you'll be glad to know there's a lot of sex around today. I mean, the energy of it. Been seeing it everywhere. No, you know what I mean. I've been witnessing its return. So, where are we going next? With a little story for people. Oh, this is interesting. Begins with night. Can you see the big old stony troll in the middle? So look, night, turn dark, and inner troll. So this is about how it's going back to that story of the fear, the darkness. You know, we almost program it in with small children when we tell them, would you like me to leave a little bedtime light on? So this is almost like the place where we begin to harvest that darkness. It's also a card about when we fall into depressions. It's that energy of how we troll ourselves, how we abuse ourselves. And then it comes with up. Look at the contrast here. You can see the energetic shape that joins them. And there's something in this presence that's almost an energy galdeering out. So, Ak, the oak. This is the first of the Anglo-Saxon editions. And this is really, it's called oak or support. But there's a real energy in this of blueprint. The blueprint in your acorn. And the acorn is the blueprint of your ancestors that's in your DNA. Your consciousness is pure as it comes in. But when we clean up the programming in our shadows, the things that trigger worry and fears within us, oh, Wassail leave. She's meant to be in the office all day. This is about how you have to question things coded in your DNA that you consider your moral fiber. This is the energy of rewriting DNA. Oh yeah, acorn does start with AC. It has a long line. Ah. Or it might be, we can't know how they said vowels. Because in Britain, you only got to travel about 20 miles and everyone speaks in a completely different accent. So, this is about testing, questioning your own moral fiber and looking at, it talks about the tannin-rich bark. The things that we surround ourselves with, the outer energy that we send out that's very rich, is to protect a more vulnerable side within. And somehow we're stripping away our bark to regrow a different kind of frequency from our traumas, from our darknesses, from how we troll ourselves. It's a really big movement contrast in those two cards. Let's give them another little shuffle. What have we got? What have we got? Oh, we got wasp. I'll show you in a minute. I need some with it. I need some with it. Ooh, they're gone very tight-lipped. They're preparing us a surprise. Oh, they're revealing cards, pages of the story inside the deck. I need the pages to fall. I need the pages to fall. There we go. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. That's just an interesting opening starter. Was the sap that rises. Once you sort your nutrients, and you're impassioned, recognize what impassions you. Recognize, look, I was just saying about how there are codes in your DNA. Recognize the feelings that don't belong, refuse to home the broken song. What are the emotions you experience that trigger depressions, that trigger moments when you despise yourself, when you troll yourself, when you hate yourself? And ask yourself, are they really you? Are they really you? Or are they something that's been programmed in you from the beginning? Is it because your life force is still shining through all those ancestral lines? Or are you moving your life force into your now? Wassail, Steph! So, recognize, rise to the emotions that you know are your truth. Push that energy up. Look, all this watery, emotional energy being brought through you and up into this wonderful moon. And then the next two in this series, actually I'm going to hold them all together because I want you to see, look at this. Look at that feast. Again, we're being shown bookends of wonder in amongst a kind of darker tonality. So that idea of the light and the exploration, not the darkness, not the shadows, the exploration. So recognize what is you, and what will happen then is you will purify and open the Gununga gap, the void, so that you can move into bliss. So this card is called Rune, not win, but you can say it as win. A double U is two U's, and it's a bit like the French word une. But you can say it win, because it's a win-win situation. Because W is drawn as double V, and now I know why. And in many languages, V's and W's switch around with F's, and there's lots of transformation. But it's because this was pulled in from italic. It wasn't an original Anglo-Saxon word. It wasn't the Thuthark or the Anglo-Saxon Thuthark with a C. So this notion, pour yourself, apply yourself into the bliss. Yes, the artwork's by Aidan Sherry. Hello, Aidan Sherry. I was talking to him earlier. Or was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Now look, this card keeps showing me how when you first hit bliss, it's like it goes off like a bomb. And it brings up all of the darker energies around everything, but you just stay focused in that now moment to trickle down the energy that creates your future now. And it's said that the state of bliss is the journey home. Look at all of this energy now being compressed and pushed through the whole of you to fire up every cell in your blueprint to make you renewed, to recognize what impassions you to transform. So let's just go with another little shuffle. I know you all want to pre-order them now. Kathy is working to unlock a beautiful website where there will be a page. At the moment you can visit my website, rustlingaround.com. It's the very first page that you come on, click on that one, and it will take you to a space about the runes. It has a pronunciation guide. It has a mythology guide for any of the stories I mentioned. I need to drink water. I'm absolutely parched. I was going to say I'm going to go for a swim and drink if you can't drink salt water. Oh my goodness. Actually, I might walk into the town as well. So let's get another story. Hooray! Do you remember doing this one? I can remember the day that this message was given to me by Merlin. I was in Portugal and I went to visit the Great Dolmen where I first encountered the Elven Ring. And it's such a beautiful card, Ul, about opening your senses. Yeah, that was the first day I went to see the Elven Light. Well, I didn't go to see it. I went to see a dolmen and all the elves appeared. Thank you, Holly. And as I say, with the pronunciation, you really don't have to say it how I say it, how anyone says it. Just say it how it wants to be said for you. How warm is the water? It's absolutely perfect, Kelly. It's not hot and it's not cold. You can just go straight in. I've never experienced that before. I've had both of the extremes. I've had British chilly water that you have to work yourself up into. I've had Portuguese water where it's so hot in the air and it's so cold off the Atlantic that it sucks the life out of your bones. I've had water that's hotter than the air in Mexico, like getting into a hot bath and you're like, it's not working. And this is just perfect. It's like the story of Goldilocks and the three bears. Yeah, I am completely blissed out by my current... Yeah, I want you to make it as funky as you can. Penelope, how you say it. So, let's go with another story from the magic book. I'm seeing ants today. It started yesterday. I've not seen a single ant. There's one just crawling its way down and he's going to fall into my crotch in a minute. Oi, Mr. Ant. It's doing it. It's dropping. I'm just going to pull my legs across so that when it falls off, it falls on the chair and not on me. No, it's coming back. Oh, now then, what's this first one? Oh, look. Earth-Magian. The Earth Magician. You when you're in your power. When you're seeded, you're in your power. And then it's coming with Gaderung, the gathering, the channeling. So when you're seeded, when you're ready, when you're in your power, you will find the gathering around you of all kinds of wonderful, this could be interdimensional energy, it could be physical world energy. There's all these things at play. And it ends with the wonderful card of Aripian. To ripen, to mature, to not be this kind of melancholy figure staring at a life that you have no control over. Your power is gathering. You are maturing through the healing journey that this deck will take you on. I mean, look, maturing doesn't mean becoming old and boring. It's the exact opposite of decrepitude. This is being a grown-up child, an emotionally stable adult, full of that childlike awe for every experience in life. Two more cards coming. Oh, Interesting. Here we have Dej. Day. The G is very much up for grabs. It could be German, Gear. It could be Judge. Doesn't matter how you say it. Dej is how I say it, but that doesn't matter. So this is talking about how daylight defines our world, but also when we're not in daylight, that's also defining our world. And sometimes the moon is out in that world. And this is about that sense of being imbalanced, powerful, and purged. And it's coming with a frequency of Hod, the Healing Oracle Deck. And this is Hod, the blind god, hooded and unseeing. You can see in this card how all that is unseen, all that is hidden within the cosmos will break out. It will eventually break out. Whether that's during your lifetime or after, all of the possibility, all of the jewels that life has are always available. Kind of holding it there because I thought some of you might try reading the poem, which is now shaking and wasn't before. So that's Hod. When you purge, when you transform things, and they don't have to be monumental, they can be tiny. Each time another jewel will reveal itself to you. Another part of the new rich tapestry that you're building. There's something here. I feel like this is what we're being shown. It's like you can't stop the gathering. You know, when we were all in the last few years in that lockdown frequency, and many people in different countries trapped inside homes, some people without even food because their authorities panicked. You know, we are a collective. We are born into individual vessels, but you can't stop the acknowledgement that we all seek connections with a tribe. We are soul tribes. We are frequencies tuned into various sources within the cosmos. Certain channels open to certain groups of people and filter understanding of the world towards that particular tribal group. So let's get a final card for this little moment, because then I'll show you. Well, I don't know if I can pick them all up, but oh! So look, I'll hold you these first. So this is it's a bit hard trying to. So this is what we have as the little bedspread, the energy mantle that we can wear at different points, the patchwork quilt of our tapestry, and we're looking for that energy of bringing our power, purging into our power, feeling all of this energy of the open but blocked channel. It's just a doorway that you connect to and open to mature. And where do you go? Where does it take us? Edel. So this is Adala, but in Anglo-Saxon it's spelt with an E. Edel. This is your legacy, your original birthright. And this message of the poem ties in with the message we've been getting earlier. What defines you? Your family, their possessions, or all they leave to you through inheritance? Is that estate fated to define you from birth? written into your body codes. That's that sigil down there, shining with the energy of all your ancestral DNA stories coming through you. Unhook it. Bring your sigil into the now. Bring your life force into the now. So the second half of the poem, or will you seek your original birthright? Move past all that falsely defines you and find the full truth of thyself. What frequency is the true you? Claim that. Claim you, not the energy that others tell you is you. Inherit you. Inherit your future now. Claim your wealth. Thanks, Lindy. So that's another little story. Let's do another one. Let's just go with another tune from the Liffruma runes. Make room for a Liffruma bloom in you. Hey, look! I knew that one was going to come out at some point. Here is a book, a magical book, unbound and ready to play. Can you guess what is in it today? I want to read you this poem because I didn't write this poem at all in any way, shape or form. This was a gathering, a Gaderung, on Rob's channel, Rob Odinson, formerly Rob's Tarot. And as they explored the energy of this rune symbol, they discussed and talked and they worked things out. And I watched the whole video and I took notes of things that they said, and then I inputted that energy into these bubbles around the rune. So here is the collective poem. Dichotomies of densely tangled emotions with the remedy implied in the diagnosis. The moon calls to hear a visceral, communal howling of human wolves shouting at the elements. The cure for pain is in the pain. Drain it out with an angry ancestral shout. This is the sound of the unbinding. Return the chaos to the draining refrain of order. What's found after the dance of disentanglement? Your cure. I absolutely love that. Because more than anything, that's everybody. And that line, this is the sound of the unbinding. Unbinding from your past, unbinding from all the things that define you. Yeah, look, it is brilliant, but Lucy, I didn't write it. Someone in the community either said it or Rob said it, but it's what came through in a group rune raking that they did. I think it was in about July or August a year ago. So, I have another little sip of water. Whoops, knocking the screen around a bit now. So, what do you want to tell everybody next? What do you want to show off? Show off. Come on. Show off, Liffruma. Bloom with the magic. There's one little card over there. I can't see it. So, what do we start with? Candle, candle, candle. Oh, and 12th, static. Right, numerologists among you, what do you notice there? Immediately, what do you notice? 666. So, 666. I feel like there's an energy here which is about doubling up on your effort. Candle is about the macro and the micro. Candle is about this frequency of Hod and Baldur, the light and the darkness, bringing balance. But look, the candle's not lit. There's a remembrance of a lit candle, but the truth of it is the candle's never gone out. It's perception. And in this card you have the macro world, and here in one bubble is the micro. And that's about the energy of fractals, the energy of rune shapes, the energy of life is echoes on different scales throughout. The shape of the planets and the music of the spheres might be discernible to someone who follows them in a pebble formation on a beach. There are all these things that roll through us, but this 12th frequency is about the scaffolding of the real world, the thing that awaits animation by us. Schrodinger's cat. You know, there's a cat in the box. It might be a dead cat or it might be a living cat. But you won't know until you open it and look. It's only when your perception falls on the cat that your dimensional reality decides if it's alive or dead. And that's very much what we're dealing with here. I'm really being shown the word poems and word bursts have frequencies. This block, this huge kind of moving energy has nothing here, but somehow this is about parting your current philosophy and inserting it through to animate your philosophical scaffolding that we do at the moment. And every time we transform our view, we increase the potential potency of the magic as we break down and zip up new structures. Yes, it is, Kathy. There's nothing on any card until you turn it over. So, there's one hidden. I'm not taking it, just want to see what it was. It was Mona. Brother Moon. Grow up, won't ya? And that's where we end. Ripien. Look at this. Blow your life force into your rewritten, your re-philosophized life force into the new dimensional scaffolding that you have matured, that you have created through considering your life. So now just look at this energy of not the poems, but the shapes and frequencies of their energies. Inserting a new philosophy, parting the old so that you can bubble into new philosophies. I am just going to read this final bubble because it's a really important one. We must all grow generously wise. We must all grow generously wise. It's not quite for sale yet. There's a web page being built. You'll be able to pre-order it, and then it will just be posted out to you on the day that it's released. We just don't have all the details yet. The problem was making this deck has been about breaking every deck maker's rules. To begin with, we've shared it with everyone. We've allowed everyone to be part of the energy, to think their way into the deck, to allow the deck to be something that's got part of their story involved in it so that it speaks to them. We've also chosen not to put the names, the numbers in the same place. Yeah, there's the back of the cards, the All Rune. And it's the idea of that's the dry stones awaiting the Liffruma water, the Liffruma love to bring to animate. So we've broken the rule on how you place things. We've put poetry on the front of the cards so that you don't have to receive a book that gets thrown away. The card will speak to you. You don't need a reference point. And then we had to break other rules. We were going to have a kind of a soft launch day, and the energy of the deck was just like, I'm not going to wait. I'm too impatient. If you don't let me out, I'll break out. Because all of us channeled something from somewhere that informed this deck, and that's bigger than all of us, and it just wanted to be Flursa in flow. So it broke free before we had everything ready, but it keeps telling me that we're supposed to break all of the rules on everything, so it's breaking out. Look, we've broken another rule. You can go to the web page and you can download a raw version without the artwork, but it has the words, the numbers, the poetry, and the runes. Or you can do another version without the poetry. And they're freely available for you to use now. So if you want to dive into the poems, I would say there's a 78-day deck challenge, which is draw a card, read the poem, and just sit with that energy for 24 hours. And after 78 days, tell me you haven't changed. Because you will. Because it will knock your life into philosophizing and thinking in a new format. And you can begin that now. You can start that today. Thanks, Lucy. Well, they're there. They're on that web page on my website, rustlingaround.com. So again, we've offered people something for nothing because you all participated in this creation in so many different ways. And all of us are so grateful. So that's free. And people would say if you offer people something for nothing, they'll never buy the real deck. You will, because you'll want to own that magic. And that's not something I don't really think about it, if I'm honest. It's just a level of trust. So you can get all that information. There's a spread on there from the 9 realms also laid out for you to play with. I'm going to teach you a really beautiful spread in a few days. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Which is the bedspread thread. It's fascinating, and you lay out a bedspread and then it tells you a story, and then you just pick up all the cards and you put them out how you want to make them happen. This deck wants us to change all the structures of tarot reading, oracle reading, the sacredness of the energies. They want you to control your own destinies. Anyway, we'll come to that another time. Another little story. We haven't actually seen Liffruma yet. Or have we? I can't remember. Comes out nearly every day. Look, there will be a Liffruma.com. It's being built. You just have to, you have to go with the way this is happening. I was thinking earlier today, when I began my channel, I didn't begin my channel with a big fanfare. I just began my channel, and it took me a year and a half of working really hard to get 400 subscribers, and my goodness, I was so pleased with myself. And then I woke up one day and it said I had 4,000 subscribers, and I thought, oh look, YouTube's gone wrong again, because I couldn't even imagine how that might happen. How could I go from 400 to 4,000? And then in my feed was a post from Santaro that said you should all watch this guy, Russell. And I wrote to her and said thank you, and she giggled because she was like, I suppose I should have told you before I did it, but it's more fun this way. And it's true, and it's the same with this deck. This deck must just unfold in the way it wants to unfold. And maybe we all need to have a little unquenchable thirst around holding it, because there's something about making it with everyone. It's taken a year and a half. The thirst to materialize it was incredible. So maybe you've just all got to thirst a little bit and encourage a thirst in others that will make it do whatever it wants to do, but it will come. It's due. It feels like it's an energy of 2023. Yeah, and I found Rune because I think I've lived with her in another dimension. I really can't remember how or why I found Rune, but I just know she is very precious. So we're beginning with Unwheeler, which is willful resistance, but it's also willpower. This is a card of youth. This is a kind of energy, I want to say, of Generation Z. It's an energy of the rebel, but it's an energy we've lost. It's an energy we had once that we forgot. It's an energy to remind you to be willful. There's a wonderful line which I hear all the time in this. Actually, I'm going to read it all. We are all born to lock horns with life. We are all born to lock horns with life. To bring trouble and tussle to those fool enough to try ruling us. The grip of youth fights for its truth. Strike the death knell history bell and blast out the past. Punctuate, perforate, mark and scent your distinct newhood for your good to be stamped, revamped and retuned. Find that energy again. Find that energy where you're willful enough to change the world around you and bring yourself into your future now. Yes, it was Reem's beautiful birthday yesterday, and it's the 3rd birthday of hers that I've known her for. So I put Anwiller back. Apparently it was just a reminder. What is this cross? What cross? What cross? What cross? Yes, the rare gazelle is Rune. What's the cross? The sort of word, what's the cross? It's a punctuation mark. It's often called the Maltese cross, but it's an Anglo-Saxon punctuation mark. It's a mark that sits and blocks things, so it's a willfulness. Sorry. The landscape in the gardens around me, they've been cutting down trees and planting new trees. It's been a really fun energy to have in my immediate vicinity, like the natural world coming into beauty somehow, rather than a tangled, briared forest. Whoop! Oh! Ing! Ing! Ing hell! So, Ing, ignite, water meadow. It's so funny, I don't even remember where water meadow came from, this card, but in some kind of channeling, I just have to say water meadow now, and it feels like the sacral in bloom. The sacral in bloom, Ing. So this is about Freyr, which is Freyr's brother, twin brother. And this is, I'm going to read this because it's a very important energy within the sacral, because we think of the sacral as a divine energy of motherhood, a womb in which life is formed. And this is a kind of divine masculine. I'm not keen on that word. Only because it genders things, but that's how we understand things. So this is the poem of Ing, the water meadow. So, son of sea, Freya's fertility forces fauna from the soil's soul. Sunshine saturates the sacral as purified rain rolls to the roots of all life. The soaked, saturated seeds split. The first thread of germination plunges down so the wild water meadow flowers can sprout, shoot and bloom with the soul's new tune. Ignite the song of your water phoenix. This is my water phoenix that I had put on in honor of the cards and the one on my back of my head, but this is the water phoenix. So this Ing 22 is coming out with card number 1, 2221, and this is the cosmic lagoon. This is the cosmic ocean, the lagoon. Now it's interesting, this is one of the early symbols, and in Norwegian, it means waterfall pouring into a field. In Icelandic, it means sea. In ancient Germanic, it means lake. In Icelandic, it's the sea. And in Anglo-Saxon, it is ocean. So it's your perspective on water geographically is inside this card. Ignite your water meadow, and you are part of the cosmic lagoon. Your water meadow blooming, your water phoenix rising is this energy rising through the cosmic ocean. Being at one with the cosmic ocean, I've been spending a lot of time in it, and it just does that thing where a wave just knocks you over. And then another time a massive wave will form, and yet when it crashes, only its foam reaches you. And that's geographical location. Where you are sitting within the cosmic frequency of your current now moment depends on whether the lagoon, the ocean, sends waves of energy to you that hit you hard, or energy that just floats through you because you're maturing, because you're allowing yourself to be at one with the cosmos more and more. And sometimes a really massive wave will form, and it will come right towards you, and then it will pass through you, because at that moment you were exactly in tune with it. And that is life. We have moments when we're deeply in tune and moments when it floors us. But every time I'm in the seat, every time, even when it knocks me over and pulls my pants off, because it does that, pulls the swimming trunks off, even in those moments, I always turn around and say, just bring it on. I'm going to keep getting back up because I love it when you knock me over. And I do. Yeah, water is a deeply divine energy, and you can tune water by giving it your intentions. So, what else is coming with this? Look, see, look. Look how dry existence is if you don't have your water meadow. Look at how pestilential without all this. The cosmic lagoon will water this, will ignite your water meadow. I kind of knew that card was coming. Could feel its dry, creaky energy. But this is also the place that we all return to, our molecules eventually. But while we're here, while we're animating them with our sigil, while we're bringing our life force into the now, our dry old molecules that will turn to the earth, they're alive, they're with us. It's the community rune. It's the community rune. This is your rune. Whoop, 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 whoop. This was the one you all raked. This was the one you all searched for a solution to. Sunnesteader, sunsteed. You often say any vowels at the end, like in German. There go my Dutch neighbours surfing. It's good surf today. Sunnesteader. So we're looking at the solstice. We're looking at the rarefied energies, those cosmic moments that happen that are unique, like a water phoenix rising. It's a very rare moment. I'm going to read you this one. So, the place, the space where the sun shines, the spot. But what if it stopped? Sister Sunna, Brother Mona, and Mother Earth dance together, and at rarefied moments, they hold hands and all become one. Light is eclipsed, shadows fall and crawl round. Seasons are set with solstices, so we might mark our lives. That's when we gather to hold hands and sing together, enwrapped by the magic of life's mystic cycles. That's what that's going to be, Sacred Seer. It's going to be you going to this desert and pouring your emotions in with the cosmic lagoon. So this Sunnsteader is coming with Evel. Don't hasten to find your birthright. Take all the time you need to transform your world. There's something really beautiful about the energy of joy in this, and how it kind of, here's the sun, here's the moon, here's the earth, and how it's beginning to shine an illumination on your truth. And there's no rush to find your truth. I wonder where those Dutch surfers are going to be, because I don't want them on my beach. I'm not sharing. I like to go out into that little unveiling moment all on my own. Do you have a little further message right now, or do you? Of course it does. Vain. Weathercock. Now, weathercock's a bit of an insult in Old English. He's such a weathercock, as in changes opinion with the wind or with the people. And it's the fire, Feor, the aether life. And I have to hold this like that. This is all about breaking everything down, changing, trying it that side, trying something else that side, trying something else. Acknowledging when we are a weather vane, acknowledging when we fluctuate, acknowledging how it's useful to see the other side of our opinion. And that is really important. The key that I would take from this is brave out life. Be strong enough to brave out life. And then this powerful burnishing opportunity, the fire, burnishing back delusions and deceits. The dragon's breath fuels and drives and delivers sacred enlightenment. But you have to try it out first. Just because I say this is sacred, it might not be to you. Or because someone else tells you it's sacred. It might be a cul-de-sac, a spiritual cul-de-sac. Try out your own opinions. Try out your own philosophies. This is a very powerful rune to write on water and drink. It kind of opens all of your senses to everything out there. It gives you that dragon frequency. Sacred fires bind to you, weaving new knowledge between yourselves, through yourselves, igniting and relighting the life that felt lost. You know, but it has to be your philosophy. Look, I'm going into my own future now God particle bubble, my single cell, my egg when I was first born, when I was just, you know, the DNA of my parents and my consciousness. I'm going into that world and I'm rewriting the DNA in it, just as we all do, but I'm writing it with the intention that it's a collective upgrade. And that's what we all have to do in our own world. Yes, I'm in my world seeing the world. You're in your world seeing the world, but there are spaces we share. And in my world, I want everything fair to everyone. I want all of you to feel joy. I want everyone to feel healed. I want everyone to feel equal. I don't want people to feel better than others, because that's abusive. So it's not part of my philosophy. My philosophy is we're all loving and kind. So, oh, that one came at me. We got was again. It's interesting because unless you go all the way through an unboxing, there are key energies. I've been having the energy of calc to anchor and unanchor just since the deck arrived. It's like, anchor this, anchor this, anchor this. And now it's like, you've done the anchoring, stop, put the anchor down, let go of the anchor. And allow the magic to rise from within the earth, the nutrients. Be impassioned. Here's an interesting line at the very end of this. When a tree weeps or bleeds, it is in joy that it is alive and still growing. It doesn't weep in sadness. Oh, what are these two face down? Oi, look. Are you going to bring your life force to the gathering that's going on at the moment? Are you going to bring your life force closer into the conscious, unconscious? Are you going to bring your life force closer to the cosmic gathering? Are you going to bring your life force closer to the changing frequencies of the world that is gathering apace around you? Of course you are. But first, you're exploring. You're exploring you, so that when you bring your life force, when you bring that life force to the gathering, you know who you are. You don't feel lost there. You feel part of it. I like this line at the end of this where it says, join together to make a world where nobody hurts, falls down or is forgotten, but is instead helped back onto their feet to thrive together. These are the messages we need to be sharing, bringing people together. valuing differences of opinion. And then it ends here with yerk. So this is usually not the poplar tree, but poplar tree is what it represents in Anglo-Saxon. And this is very nomadic, this card. Poplar trees send out roots underground, and then when there's a fire, they just grow from a new spot. It's the same tree, but it moved slightly. So, that was the first little introduction. There's still so many beautiful cards hiding in the deck. And we will see what comes in the next read. It might have something to do with Hagal. Let me just flick through and see if there's any that I would like to show to you. I should show you Liffruma. This is the Elven Ring. It's funny that that card was so shy today. It has not been shy for so long. I have to show you Hell. You can see Hell here with her hand in the air and this beautiful liquid crystal dress. It's Rune from the Rare Gazelle thumbnail. And I love that she's inhabiting that card. I love elks with the wonderful elk in the middle. Here is the one that's been plaguing me but has now gone. Kelk. There's also Egishelmir. Gifu, Jifu, Yifu, the Gift. Beautiful card. Ur. Absolutely love this one. Oh, I'm not going to show you that one yet. I'm going to wait for it to come out in a reading. And that one. And that one. I'm not going to show you anymore. I'm just going to look at them myself. Oh, this one I need to show you. Towardness. Towardness. Now, this is a card that has an error in it. This is the future. This is the future you write for yourself, where you want to nest all your dreams so that they can flow towards you. And just here in the poem, it says, type to enter text. Because that's the truth of it. The truth of it is you write your future now. You input your future now. And I love that error on this deck. Oh, this is a beautiful one. The World Serpent. You're a destiny point. It's gorgeous artwork. Oh, Needle. I absolutely love this card. It's so pretty. It's interesting the cards that have turned up, and I am skipping some. I want to show you this one because I adore Ecuador. Flursa. This is the female rite of passage from girl into fertility. But it's more than just that. It's a wonderful energy. This is the male rite of passage, but this is one that's full of distortions that need to be corrected. Yeah, I'm not going to show you the others. They're going to come out in readings. So beautiful, 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 beautiful people. Live Liffruma love. I hope you enjoyed today. I hope that you're excited about the cards rather than fearful. There is something very overwhelming when they first make it into your hands. Kelly, it will be available when it decides. There are 50 decks at the moment that are going out to various readers so that we can just gauge any last minute touches. Kathy is working on a liffruma.com website which will have a pre-order page, and then you can pre-order, you pay your money, and they will be shipped out to you as soon as they're hot off the press. But there might just be a couple of little transformations to some of the cards when we've sat down and watched how they work, what things, because when you work with something for a long time, you can miss things that others can't see when they first come to things. Thanks, Dee Dee. Yeah, I think I'm letting go. I was, when Liffruma just decided it was letting itself out the bag, I was then suddenly very, very exhausted, and I could feel everything detoxing. And it was difficult. A lot of energies came up. Quite traumatizing energies in ways, but you know, you just face them and move on with them. And there is something about owning your shadows. I kind of feel sometimes like my inking is when I feel transformed, that it's wearing it on my skin allows me to never forget the energy, but it no longer hurts me because I've turned it into a thing of beauty in my own mind. Yeah, it was, Kelly, like giving birth, but it was like it passed through many vaginas on the way, not just my own. Because it was a group effort. Maybe I had too many midwives. I don't know what it was. But anyway, we have actioned this between us, and we brought a really wonderful healing gift to be out there. And look, there are already, there's a line, Lucy, in one of the runes. Kathy might remember which one it is, and it says, think labor pains. It's about calling life into being. It's, I just kind of, there's some really filthy things going through in my head there. Yeah, that's another thing. You have to be able to edit anything in life. You've got to be, that's part of another journey that's really important that the deck taught me. It doesn't matter how many hours you spend designing, creating, working, trimming. You can at any point throw the entire thing away and start again. And we do that with life. That's the thing. We have to do that with life to make it worth the future now that we're creating. So there's a lot to come. There's a whole team of people preparing videos, and many moderators will be getting their decks soon, and hopefully some of them might post, and if they don't, they don't. They will do with their Liffruma what Liffruma tells them to do. And that's a beautiful thing. So thank you all again for being just brilliant. You've supported this whole journey that I've been on. And you've allowed me to explore me and the world and others, even on my own. And through the internet, you know, the internet has been really important. And I have anchored the codes of the deck into the internet, hopefully, in my wizardry. so that it can bloom there as well. So beautiful people, I'm going to go and have a big glass of water. I was thinking of walking into the town. I'll see what the time is. Oh yeah, I've got time. I'm going to go for a walk into the town, get some things I can cook later, and then I'm going to come back and go for a swim. So beautiful, Liffruma people. It's a pleasure, everyone. Wassail Nirvana Tsunami. So, I'm going to say bye-bye. It was 1151. That would have been a great moment to have pressed stop. That would have been magic numbers. I can't even see a button to press stop today. Anyway, wassail beautiful people.